Hello and welcome. Today we'll be looking at how to end a toxic relationship. Now, so many persons out there are in a toxic relationship and they are wondering, how can I leave this relationship? How can I walk out of this relationship? I love this person and I think this person loves me too. But the things that happens around the relationship is just what I can't tolerate. And they are imagining, how do I live? Where do I start from? What will become of me? Will I find love again? Will someone take me the way my partner takes me? How will I survive it? Now, because of this, many persons tend to stay in a toxic relationship for so long, and before you know it, it ends up to something else. Now, being in a toxic relationship has to do with a whole lot. And before you consider looking out for points to leave a toxic relationship, you have to understand the fact that this relationship has been abusive. This relationship have been based on trauma, based on pain, based on disappointment, depression, and all of that. So when you consider all of these things in a toxic relationship, then you need to look out for ways in which you need to walk out of the relationship. Now you're thinking, I know being in a toxic relationship and trying to leave a toxic relationship isn't always easy, because you're looking at how can I heal from the pain, from the trauma, from the disappointment, and from the stress and the abuse. The most important thing or the worst part of an abusive a toxic relationship is the abuse. Okay, now first of all, you need to understand the fact that you need to make up your mind. Now, this toxic relationship is something you've endured for so long. You've talked to your partner about it, on how to resolve the issue. You've talked to your partner about how to change attitude towards the relationship and how everything is going. And it seems like at some point, the relationship will be resolved. Maybe you talk to your partner about it and it looks like there are some changes, and before you know it, this thing continues again. Now, you have to understand that this is what it is in a toxic relationship, and all you need to do is, first of all, you need to make up your mind. You need to make up your mind to leave the relationship. You also need to set a reminder of why you must leave the relationship. And setting up a reminder of why you must leave the relationship simply has to do with you looking back at all that you've been through in the relationship. I'm not saying you shouldn't endure in a relationship, that's it, but toxic relationship is different, is way bad than enduring a relationship. This toxic relationship leads to abuse. It could even lead to death. Yes, it has to do with that, because it has to do with your partner not looking out for you, not as in treat you anyhow they want. Now, also, after setting up a reminder on why you need to leave the relationship, you have to understand that you're leaving the relationship because you deserve better. Yes, you deserve better, because being in a toxic relationship limits you from growing. It puts you in a state of isolation where you avoid yourself from family, from friends, from loved ones, from everything that is good about yourself. So now you're wondering or you're thinking, how can I leave this relationship? Now, simply for you, you have to first of all raise all that you need to say to your partner or someone you're in a relationship with. Now, this has to do with you practicing ahead of time. In order, now why are you practicing? In order for you not to skip some important points. But I'm not saying this is a guarantee that when you practice this thing that you won't miss some points. Of course you will, depending on the environment and the time. Okay, so you need also to tell the person you're in a relationship or the person you want to end the relationship with on time. You need to inform them on time that you want to talk to them about something very important, and why are you doing this, in order for you to get a response on when and how this talk can take place. Also, you need to consider what method of conversation do you want to? Do you want to send an SMS? Do you want it through an SMS? Do you want it through a phone call? Or do you want it one-on-one conversation? Well, it's very important that you go for a one-on-one conversation, because when you're talking to somebody on phone, the feeling is different. The person might just think, oh, and it's just normal thing the way we used to do it. Now we've had issues, maybe my partner just wants to tell me about what I did, nothing serious. Or even though you're telling the person how you feel, the person might likely not see it as important as they say, because it is on phone. Are you talking about sending it through SMS? The person, you might send a lot of message, but that won't really make sense. It won't be felt. But when you go with a face-to-face conversation, you'll find out that the person will really understand you. Your countenance, your appearance, how you look, whether excited or how happy, will determine the rate of how the conversation will go. So now I recommend that you go for a face-to-face conversation with your partner. And it's very important that when you want to end a toxic relationship with someone you're in a relationship with, you need to consider the location. Okay, if you know too well that the conversation you're going to have with this person is going to make this person angry, you need to set up a location that is public, where there are people, so that people can help you in case of there is any abuse. So don't go about setting up a location in a private place where it will just be between two of you. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm telling you that it is very, very important, or it's not really advisable that you go talking to somebody on that kind of matter, knowing who the person is. The person is aggressive, hot-tempered, and all of that. It is not important. It is not necessary. So you have to set up a public location so that people could come to your help. Also, you need to set your mind straight. You need to be direct and specific in what you're saying. When you want to end a toxic relationship, it's not easy, because you try to look back at all the times that you spent together. So now you're having an opportunity to talk to the person you're in a relationship with, especially knowing to whether you want to end the relationship. I know it's not going to be easy, because you'll be somehow pathetic. You look at the person's feeling, how will the person react? You need to be straightforward. The best way for you to end this is just being straightforward and direct. Go straight to the point. Be serious with what you're saying. And by doing this will enable you to have a good conversation, because when you look at all these points, when you're looking at how the person feels or how the person looks, it could lead to pity. You might likely give yourself a second chance, and when you give yourself this chance thinking that things will change, it will not get changed, it will get worse. So, and I'm sure this is not what you want. And before you want to leave this relationship, you felt the pain, you know what you've been through. So it's just like you looking for a means, and you've just gotten the means for you to leave the relationship that is toxic. Okay, so go through the point, practice them, and of course you find out that it's very easy and very simple for you, because you deserve better. That's very important.